Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris Collier, host of Conquer with Chris. I have someone I've known her for quite a while, and her husband. They are a blessing in my life, and I just wanted to welcome Dr. Faith Abraham to the show. Dr. Faith, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm saying welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes, all you all watching in podcast or listening in podcast world, we want to welcome you to the show. Please like, share, and subscribe. Well, Dr. Faith, let the people kind of know who you are, little summation, and we'll get into your story.
Okay, absolutely. Well, I am a master life coach, meaning that I've coached hundreds, if not thousands, to become coaches and entrepreneurs. And I also have a certification program in which I certify coaches. So that's the master life coach part. And then my husband and I, we co-founded a tech company called Vonza, the fastest non-VC backed SaaS company for entrepreneurs and creators. We are running the town, and that's a little bit about me.
Wow. These are just a few. She's being modest, y'all. Just a couple of her accomplishments. She's a mother, speaker, co-founder of a Christian university. She's being very modest, very modest. A missionary.
Yes.
So much she does. But let's talk about your journey of entrepreneurship. How did you get started? What caused you to become an entrepreneur?
Well, the funniest thing is both of my parents, so I am a first generation Nigerian American. So that means that I was born and raised here in the States. My parents are both immigrants from Nigeria. And when they got here, they did what everyone else does, get education and get a job. But from the job, they transitioned to entrepreneurship. So I was exposed to entrepreneurship very, very early. But for whatever reason, I just was obsessed with corporate America and climbing the corporate ladder. Long story short, it did not work. I failed miserably. And I just went to school and was like, okay, I know school. I'm going to go. And so I got my PhD like right after I had my second child. So I was juggling a lot at the time. But I kept trying to find jobs in which I was not going to be overworked and underpaid. And I ended up with all the degrees being overqualified. So it was like, something has got to give. And I remember guys saying to me, stop trying to go through other people's doors and build a door for yourself.
Wow.
Okay.
Let's just stay there a minute.
Yeah.
Trying to eat at someone else's table, build your own table.
Build your own table. And I'm not one of those people who believe that everybody's an entrepreneur. I know, some people's mind is not entrepreneurship, and that's fine. But when God knows you, and so he knows how you're built, how you're equipped, how you're wired. P.S. He's the one that did it. So when the time comes to push and to go and all the other doors are closed, stop trying to do something that I hadn't wired you to do. Build this door and go through that door. And it was literally like an epiphany in the midst of frustration, crying just about every night, taking care of kids and my husband in ministry and stuff like that. But it was the catalyst for breakthrough. And I always say pain is information. If you experience enough pain, it's giving you info. It's giving you insight. And if you can pay attention to the information and be able to discern it or dissect it, man, you can really take off from the information you're getting from the pain you're experiencing.
Wow. I think about a great wise man said, pain, it can be your best friend. It tells you when your arm's out of joint. It tells you when your finances aren't right. It tells you when your relationships aren't right. And when you, like you said, it's just information. And they found out that like It's just electricity current going through your body. When your body's in
Yeah,
pain, it's just electrical current. So it's information going to your brain saying, this doesn't feel right. Something's wrong here. So
that's
you're right.
good.
Pain is information. And a lot of times in Western culture, especially, we interpret pain as rejection or something's wrong with us. And it's not necessarily wrong with us in the sense like we did something wrong. It is something wrong that just needs to be corrected.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. And it's such a small little difference, right? Like, oh, something's wrong with me versus something's wrong with what's happening. Something's wrong with the circumstance or the situation. Oh, I love that. Ooh, I like
And
that.
well, that's you think about this. If you're 1% wrong and you go 100 miles, you're 100 miles off course.
Well, there's that.
Just 1%. Just
Yeah.
1%.
No,
So
absolutely.
you did a course correction, and now you're
Yes.
doing what you do to become more of an entrepreneur. Since I want to say this. This is funny. You say you try to climb the corporate ladder, but for you, it was a step stool.
No, and that's a great way to to think about. I never even thought about it like that, but it really is a great way to think about it because there's a lot that I did learn in that, failed journey, so to speak, that I translate and took over into entrepreneurship. And it's really important. Like one of the things I started to realize is that everything is not a failure. It's just insight, it's just information, it's just a building block, a stepping stone, right? And there's things that in that failed aspect of your life, so to speak, that you feel like, okay, well, this is a waste, this is not going to benefit me, this doesn't help. But as time goes on, it's almost like that puzzle, not a 24-piece puzzle, like a 500, you got to have the whole table and lay it out, and you start on the outer corners and you just keep taking little piece and little piece and little piece and building it up. And you're sometimes when you're looking at the puzzle pieces of your life, it's like, this makes no sense. How would this help me out? How would this relate to me? This, knocked me down. This was so bad. This like almost took me out. This had me question everything I ever knew. It doesn't make sense. But in a puzzle, everything makes sense at the right time.
Go ahead and preach. I was thinking about when you were saying that, I thought about David, right? When he went and put on Saul's armor, he says, this has not been tested, but the translation's bad, right? Because we know it was tested because Saul wore it. Saul
Right.
wore it in the battle. So we know it was tested.
And he
But
won with
David
it.
was
Yeah.
saying, I haven't tested it myself for me. And Saul was head and shoulders above everybody, and David was a short little guy. So that armor won't going to fit him anyway. It won't going to work for him.
At
So you
all.
were trying to fit something that didn't fit you. It wasn't your failure. That situation didn't fit you. So
At all. Right.
I want you to speak to the people that might be watching this where their situation isn't fitting them. What would you say to them?
It's good. Be excited. Literally, even if you feel like this is the craziest thing and that I am lying to myself, lie to yourself, okay? And tell yourself, this is great. I'm so glad this doesn't fit because now I can check this off the list and shift to what does fit, find what does work. Our whole life is a journey. Your whole life is a journey. Don't feel like right now, just because right now isn't working, that nothing is going to work. Right now is working. It's just working for you on a level that you have not understood quite yet. It's just a check off the list. This isn't it. Let's find the next thing. You're on your way to the next thing, literally. And it's going to be good, really good.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So you made that transition. You got into doing some things, and then you got into coaching. How'd you find coaching?
So my PhD is in counseling, and I'm the oldest of 5. So my whole life has been it's been coaching. And even in my so I used my PhD in counseling to start my business and my practice, but I found myself becoming increasingly frustrated after, I'd say about 13 years, I was becoming very frustrated because the difference between counseling and coaching is very subtle, but it's stark. You can feel it. With counseling, you are focused upon this, usually one or two things, but one specific situation, and processing through it, healing from it, seeing how it played out in your life and all these things. So, but you're focused on this one thing. Whereas with coaching is saying, okay, I went through this and that, and now I want to use this and that to move me forward. So counseling, that aspect of forward movement isn't really there, whereas coaching, that forward movement is there. And that is literally how I'm wired. Like, I want to heal, but once I'm healed, let's move. We got to go next level, next place, And so when I did the coaching, it was like, this is so powerful. And we were getting transformation within my clients. I was having MMA fighters come, and they would never come to counseling. They would absolutely not. They're too strong for counseling. Okay.
I can say it. They're prideful.
Strong. I just do it like that. Strong for counseling. But they understood the concept of coaching. They understood the concept of, oh, that didn't work. Let's try this one instead, which was the coaching. And so getting that transformation for them mentally to learn how to transition from being in the ring to being with your wife, being with your kids, right? Like, there's a difference. And a lot of times they just didn't know how to shift to, people who were in corporate America, who were able to climb the corporate ladder, but they kept getting stuck at certain levels monetarily. And, we had to do the work, subconscious reprogramming, renewing the mind daily, right? With the word of God. That's what the word says. And so bringing that to a practical way so they can get the results. So we were just getting results. But I was like, I can't sustain this. Like, I'm only one person. So what if I created a program that would now certify people to do this and even more, with people that maybe will never hear what I have to say or never find me, but they'll listen to you. They'll find what your perspective is, and it makes sense to them. So that's what happened. So that was the coaching. And then with the coaching, I started figuring out that digital products was a great way to supplement not being able to work with people one-on-one. And so then I ran into the issue of having all these different platforms, a platform for courses. I know, a platform for courses, a platform for products, a platform for scheduling, a platform for, and I was like, okay, this is a lot of different things I'm trying to juggle just for one business. And I was complaining to my husband about it. He was complaining about the same thing because he's, in the entrepreneurial space. And so we're like, okay, I think we need to do what we know how to do best as entrepreneurs. We need to solve this problem, not just for ourselves, but let's solve it for other people. And so that's how Vonza was born, because it's a platform that brings everything you need to run your business online into one place. So you can get focused, you can make your business simple. We need simplicity. And it's easy because we have it very intuitive. Even if you're not a techie, even if you're not a tech person, totally get it, you can use Vonza. So that's kind of a fast forward of a journey.
Wow. A lot. Let's go back to coaching just for a minute, if we could.
Yeah.
If there's that person who is thinking about getting into coaching and don't know what to do, right? They don't know how to get their clients, how to do this, how to do that. What would you suggest they do?
Listen, if you want to get into coaching, we need coaches. And people always say, oh, it's saturated. Honey, the bread aisle is saturated, okay? But you still walk down the bread aisle and you get the bread you like. You find the bread that works for you, for your family, your in-laws are coming in town. Everybody has their bread. So same thing with coaching. You can create a brand that somebody's like, oh, that's my bread. That's my coach. That's the one. That's the person I need. They got it what I need. And so it's all about branding yourself so that you stand out and you, of course, attract the type of people that you know that you can help. And if you're already a coach and you're not getting the type of clients that you want, there's something off either within your branding or within your messaging. Those two things can really, because I mean, just going back to the bread example, I've started a different type of eating just to have optimal performance in my system. So now I'm into gluten-free breads, but I'm a stickler for wheat and oats and things like that. So I usually get the bread that's gluten-free but has all like the nuts and all that stuff on top. And my son is like, Mom, barf. I'm not eating that. Like, it's just seeds. Like, what's the big deal? But that's my bread. That's what works for me and what I need. Then we go and we find the bread that works for him, but also for me, because I'm the one buying it. And so it's the same thing with coaching, finding that audience, but you have to speak clearly to your audience so that they know who you're talking to. You know, if I shout, hey, you, in Walmart, some people might turn and look, but they're going to be like, well, she ain't talking to me. As soon as I say, hey, you, John, all the Johns are going to, you talking to me? Who are you? Why are you saying my name? Why are you speaking to me? Same thing with coaching. Same thing.
Wow. Wow. By the way, for the people who are watching, coaching is a $7.5 billion industry just in the United States, 15 billion worldwide. And that was 2019. So let me just put it like this. It's growing too. It's not stagnant.
Absolutely.
With the advent of the coronavirus that happened, with the advent of people not wanting to go into work, coaching is growing by leaps and bounds, just as content creation, podcasting, all those. Matter of fact, do you know what the number one small business in America is right now, Dr. Faith? YouTube.
Listen, I believe that. Because I don't even know any stats yet. Maybe you're going to throw some at me, but I don't even question that at all.
No, I was listening to someone, and they said YouTube is the smallest and fastest growing small business in America right now. The reasons why are very simple. Low barrier cost, right? There's no cost to, if you have a cell phone, and you can get on YouTube. Let me rephrase that. If you have cell phone and you have service, you can get on YouTube. and you can upload. You just got to learn how to use SEO and keywords and stuff. Too technical for what we're trying to get accomplished here, but you can be a success on YouTube. So that's key. I think going back to our 1% off, if you're 1% off and walk a mile, you're a mile off course. For those coaches, people who want to be coaches, if you're 1% off, you can get a mile away real quick from your target, which is, at the end of the day, is, be honest, sales. You want to impact people. Yeah, you want to have transformations, but you need sales to make that happen for them and yourself, because if not, you'll be stuck at a 9 to 5. So you use the old adage, find what someone's pain is, and broadcast that pain, and then solve it with the software that you guys have called Vonza. And it has a lot of different stuff in it. So talk to the people now, as whether content creator, coach, the steps in finding they have the solution, but how to sell that solution to the end user.
Yes. So with Vonza, so if someone's using Vonza, one of the things I tell them is this: of course, let's get that branding sharp. Let's get that messaging together so that when people look at it, they can say, oh, this lady is talking to me. Chris is talking to me. Okay, this is my person. And with Vonza, you have the opportunity to create a multitude of digital products. So, and of course, you have your funnels and you have scheduling. So just with those three things, You can build a 6-figure, 7-figure coaching business. How? Okay, with the digital products. You can create ebooks, you can create a download or a checklist just to introduce people to you, and they can begin to kind of hear how you sound and hear what you offer, and they start making these decisions in their mind about you. Then let's say they may not want to invest in the one-on-one coaching yet. No problem, because you have a digital course, and you have a course that walks them through a specific pain point, and you get them a result. Now they're like, okay, this person knows what they're doing. I'm loving it. This is great. Then you have your funnel set up, and you have a funnel that has the course that also offers, maybe a one-on-one session, or offers a coaching bundle. So that funnel is doing that work for you while you're on social media, maybe talking about this stuff. On the back end, your Vonza platform is working for you as people go through the funnel, and they can make purchase, they can pay, they can schedule an appointment with you, because now they said, okay, this is my coach, this is my person. Now I'm going to go ahead and make that commitment. I'm going to go ahead and work with this coach because I need these results that they promise. And I saw through the ebook, I saw through the course, they know what they're talking about. So now I'm going to invest in the appointment so they can schedule an appointment using your Vonza platform. You sit with them, see if you guys are a good fit. You schedule it. Now you have your feature on Vonza called Forms. In Forms, if someone needs a payment plan, if someone needs to be charged every month, if they want to be paid, if you want them to pay in full. So you have all of these variety of flexible things that make your business seamless, and it allows you to not leave a single dollar on the table. Everything is there. And of course, when they really, you start building an audience. Let's say they just say, well, Doc, I did the one-on-one time with you. Well, that's what they say to me. Doc, I did the one-on-one time with you. I want more, but do you have anything? Yes, I have membership. And I have a membership that costs so-and-so amount a month. We get together, we do. All of this is just from your Vonza platform. But yet all of this gives you this multitude of ways to generate income into one business. I always tell people, when people say, the average millionaire has about 7 streams of income. Well, the Bible says have 8. So let's just go there. He said, yeah, have 8, because you do not know what the times will bring. But the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. I always tell people, start a business, whether that's your coaching business or what have you. But before you start another business, you should have at least 3 to 5 streams of income in one business. So this is the coaching. I'm getting deep. I'm giving people an after class. Let me show you. This is the coaching, right? So now you have the one-on-one coaching. Mm-hmm. You have ebooks. You can have free ones and you can have paid ones, right? You have courses. You have group membership. Then, because you've grown an audience, you have physical, like merchandise, merch. Like your people love this stuff. I'll show you something that I've been working on, and it's a phone case. It says, "We do not read minds, we study behavior." Your behavior tells us everything we need to know. Wow. Usually what you're going to do a year from now, or in this situation or that situation, based on the behavior of the past, of how you operated before, we know what you're going to do. So we're not reading your mind. We're just watching it. We're just observing.
Wow.
So that's your business, 5 streams in one business.
Right. And I would say, like, some of them you could even stack, right? So like what I've heard, the main thing I've heard is use your ebook to get people on your email list, right? Yeah. Then you get the email list going, and as you're growing it, right, you're getting people more engaged in what you're doing and what you have to say, and then you sell them. Maybe they're not ready for a full one-on-one coaching, so you get them in like a a one-time special webinar presentation where you're going to sell them something like a basic video course, how to build an email list or whatever the case may be, something very basic. Not that that's basic. I mean, it is, but there's other things that are more basic. But then they do that and they're like, man, that's the kind of, and the other thing is I want to make a point to the people that are watching, is if your content that comes out free has a ton of value in it, when you sell something, they're going to think, if they give so much value away for free, how much more is their paid stuff?
Absolutely.
Psychology.
Absolutely. And reaping what you sow too. Because if you sow good quality stuff, you're going to reap a great type of clientele. You're going to reap that stuff. Like some people, they just want the free stuff. That's fine. But because you've got given so much value, you've sown so much value, it's going to come back to you on the back end, probably in a different shape or form of a different person or situation or circumstance. And you just never know. You just keep putting those seeds out there. Okay, sorry.
No worries, no worries. And so they bought that video course from you, and they said, you know what, that didn't work as well as I wanted, but I could tell the value was there. So let me get Dr. Faith or Chris or whoever the coach is. Let me get them. I'm still not quite ready to commit to a full one-on-one coaching. Right. So they might do a hybrid of the video course, which is every week you meet on Zoom or whatever, and you have live coaching and you're going through the process, you're teaching, and then you leave room to answer questions at the end or at the beginning. Maybe you start with the questions. It just matters how the coach has it set up. But then they get some of their questions asked so they can move forward easier, because at the end of the day is when you're building this, you're building it, the more access they have to you, to a coach, the more it costs, because there's only one coach.
That's right.
And it takes time away from the coach to deliver this value. So you have to charge more. So I consider it like stair step. Some people say, oh no, just go for the high ticket. Yeah, you should have high ticket offers, but not everyone's ready for the high ticket offer.
Absolutely. And they should have those stepping stones to get themselves ready. I always say people too, that with having those stepping stones is really great for, I would say about 50% of your audience. Probably 20% of them are actually going to find you and be ready to go right in on a high ticket offer. So you're going to leave the 50 behind? Absolutely not. You want to give them that gateway. And if you strategize it well, when you're giving them those stepping stones, those little things before they get to the one-on-one, it should help them to build up their confidence and their finance, so that they can afford the one-on-one high ticket coaching. This is what it is.
Right.
This is what it is.
And I've been on a tear this year. I think I've read 8 books so far this year, and I've just finished. I just finished one. I'm gonna mess up the name. It's the Introvert's Guide to Sales, and I just messed up the title. It's a good book. I'm writing it down. I'm an Audible. I'll give you the exact title, and I'll place the title in the description for those of you watching. Perfect. Thank you. But it says this. It says, if you are sales adverse because you think sales is slimy and creepy, this is how you do it. So let's just pretend. Let's have a little. Let's do a little role play here, Dr. Faith. Okay. I'm selling you something. All right. So, and let's say I've gone through all the benefits and the transformation and all that. I say, so Dr. Faith, what do you think this is worth to you? See, now there's no sales pressure. I've taken the pressure off Dr. Faith from thinking, oh my gosh, she's going to tell me $3,995. I've taken the pressure off me, because if she says it's $297, then I've done a bad job presenting. But if she says
$3,995,
guess what? We good. Close. Let's run up the paperwork right now. But watch this. If she says $397, I will then go back into benefits, features, transformations again in a different way, because maybe that type, it's like the love languages. Everyone loves differently. People like to be sold differently. So you have to go back into your process not to convince them, to make sure they understand what they have their hands on. And maybe
Yeah.
it's just not for them at the time, and it's fine.
Mhm.
So, Dr. Faith, do you have a favorite quote you'd like to share with the people?
Well, my favorite poem is from Robert Frost, which is basically him saying that he took the road less traveled and it's made all the difference. And every day just about every day, I would say, I always say something to myself of, you are so different. You are so weird. And I'm like, yeah, my weirdness is taking me on the road less traveled and it's made all the difference. So I just embrace how I am and let God lead the way. And I'm right there. Like, let's do it. Let's go.
And how can people find you, Dr. Faith?
Oh, please go to, you can find me on my website, faithabraham.com. I'm on Instagram. It's the @Dr. Faith, the only Dr. Faith, your favorite Dr. Honey. And of course, on Vonza.com. If anyone is interested in Vonza, please shoot me a DM. I know for some people, tech can be kind of like red flag, but it's actually one of the best things that are out here. It's not going anywhere. And so we'd love to help you on your journey of deep diving into the digital space of coaching or whatever it is you're doing.
Wow. Wow. My name is Chris Collier. It's been a pleasure having you, Dr. Faith.
Thank you for having me.
And for all of you, those of you watching or listening, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day.